about to start digging in 2-valve time bomb's motor here. So what we decided to do is, I was kind of on the edge of taking the pan off and checking the bottom end, and I talked to a couple other guys, and they kind of thought it would kind of be stupid. And I was thinking like, oh, obviously nothing's bad because there's no knocking, there's no metal in the oil or anything like that. So maybe we're better off just leaving the main caps and all the rod bearings the way they are. This way, if anything were to happen next year, I feel like I would blame myself because I took it apart. So we're gonna leave the bottom end alone, but we're gonna strip down this whole hide, basically the whole motor, get everything out of our way, and we're gonna pop this hide off and see if we can find any surprises. Stud is crusty with the motor. You guys close up at first action.
Oh, taught that one too. A little bit of valve contact. I was looking at the second ring in that one, like this spun.
I don't know. I think you get the rest of the seat.
We got a little rust build up in there from running
See
water.
like this though? See them little pieces?
It's melting.
Yep.
Not bad though, honestly. I'm happy to see that little tiny bit of melting. Not happy to see it, but that
Looks
little.
great.
I was expecting way worse. Pull the gasket off. See what it should look like. So, nothing super terrible.
that I can see by eye. Oh, just kidding. Look at that, Blake.
Right here, I'm missing. I got a bunch of pieces and chunks.
I got a
Between
big
the two
blowout.
cylinders. That's where I'm looking.
Right
Between-
here.
Oh, back there. Nothing
Little
there,
blowout action right here. Heading over to that cylinder too, Blake. Or that stud that was stuck.
Yeah.
So we got the head off. Nothing really terribly alarming that I could find. Like, it's not the end of the world. There's a few little things here and there. Cylinder walls look pretty good. A couple of them look like they're like almost kind of like rough for some reason, but there's no scoring. Like, they're still smooth. They just look weird, almost like they started to like get a tiny bit of surface rust on them. Maybe from sitting, I'm not really sure. Maybe it was getting some coolant in the cylinder. But the head has cracks. Let's see if I can get the focus in on the camera. Ooh. Between every single that one you can kind of see. Between every single set of valves, there's cracks. That's crazy. You can't see that because they're clear as day when you're not looking through the camera. But one of the injectors, I'm not really sure why, had like a lot of buildup around it. Like it was getting like cylinder pressure blowing by it. But it comes right off. It's almost like a carbon buildup, but it's almost like it was getting cylinder pressure coming up through there, but it kind of doesn't make any sense because the crush washer wasn't melted, so I'm not really sure what's. We're moving down here to the engine side of things. We have, see that little indent right there? That's like a little bit of, there's two lines right there. See if I can get it. Oh yeah, see those two lines? The inside one is an indent from the valve, and the outside one is an indent from this outside corner on this valve, like right in there. So I don't know if that's from the piston itself expanding, like it's getting super hot, and when it starts spinning at higher RPM, it's just enough to come up and like just lick the bottom of the head. I'm not really sure, but it's only towards the inside of the bowl, not the outside, which makes me think that's from the heat. The piston kind of swells a little bit. I'm not really sure. I'm not a freaking genius on motors, but I'm just taking lucky guesses here. Head gasket. We definitely had some head gasket problems going on here. We have a spot back here where cylinder pressure was escaping. You can see where the gasket's all blown out. Right there. Going right over to that, one of those head studs. Then this was blown out between the two cylinders right here. You can't see that. And
And this one was blown out right here between them. There's some have a gap already, like this one right here. There's already a gap in it, but you can tell where it's like burned off in a couple spots. Let's see, there's a couple other spots on here that were kind of alarming. Yeah, a couple spots like this here. You can see where the gasket material is kind of pushed back. Well, it almost like started to burn that off a little bit. I mean, there's a pretty solid indication here of lifting the head, blown head gasket, obviously. Oh, there's a good one right there. Look at that line there. I hit one on here somewhere going straight to the coolant passage. Oh, right there. That's a big one. You can see where that red ring is just blowing all the way out around that coolant passage. That's where all the pressure was probably coming from, right there, at least the majority of it. So, I mean, as you can see, obviously the 425s are just not holding up to the power, or I should say cylinder pressure. So, upgraded studs, new head coming. Head's going to be very expensive, so that's not going to be for a while, so the motor's just going to be kind of chilling over there. But we do have some other projects going on to keep us busy for now. We'll be working on doing like a kind of a wire tuck here. I got the wiring harness all taken apart. Got the one going to the back too. I'm gonna really try to clean this engine bay up. I have new switch panel and stuff coming to control everything because I had the one that was up there in the corner, but it couldn't handle the power, just melting all the time. So really trying to take care of wiring issues. I want to try to tuck a lot of these wires away so we can make it look a little better under the hood. It's not like super crowded in there, but I feel like the fact that it's not super crowded almost kind of like hurts it a little bit because anything that's laying on the fenders just looks bad. But yeah, we got the wire tucking kind of going on. It's not gonna be like a full out wire tuck, so I don't expect it to be like a SEMA build, but we're just gonna try to hide as much as possible. And I'm also working on getting a second gen air cooler put in this core support. Looked around a bunch of places. I couldn't, or not places, but looked around at a bunch of like videos on YouTube and images and stuff, and I couldn't really find any way that I liked to mount that intercooler, so I'm kind of doing my own thing, but that's for a different video. But yeah, that's pretty much all we found with the motor. Nothing really crazy. But that's going to do it for this one, so make sure you guys click on to the next video if you want to see us fab a second gen intercooler into this core support. Make sure you go down and subscribe. And see you in the next one.